Now, before you move to Goodyear, Arizona, there are 5 things that I wish somebody had told me before people started relocating here in the Groves. And at least 2 of them are going to surprise you because they're the exact opposite of what you read online. So if Goodyear is on your list, watch this whole video first. It could save you a very expensive mistake. What is going on, everybody? My name is Shandelin Anderson. I'm your neighborhood realtor right here in the West Valley of Phoenix, and I help people move to Goodyear, Arizona, and the surrounding areas in the West Valley cities every single week. So this isn't a list I pulled off of a blog. This is what I actually see on the ground. So here's why this matters. Moving to a new city is one of the biggest decisions that you will ever make. And Goodyear specifically is one of those places where the online reviews and the real experience don't always line up. Some people move here and it's the best decision they've ever made, while some people move here and they picked the wrong part of town and the wrong type of home and they spend 2 years wishing they'd done it differently. The difference is almost always information, knowing what you're getting into before you sign. So today I'm giving you the honest, no sugarcoating relocation guide to Goodyear, Arizona in 2026. We're going to cover the location and commute, the neighborhoods, and what kind of buyer fits each location, home prices and what your money gets you, the cost of living and the stuff nobody warned you about, and finally the real pros and cons. So let's dig in. First, let's talk about location, because this is the piece a lot of out-of-state buyers get wrong. Goodyear sits on the west side of the Phoenix metro, and it's in what we call the West Valley. So you've got the I-10 running through it, which connects you east into downtown Phoenix and west towards California. You've got the Loop 303 on the west edge, which has become a massive growth corridor. And you're close to the Estrella Mountains, so a lot of Goodyear has genuinely beautiful mountain views. Now, the honest part, if you're picturing a 10-minute drive downtown Phoenix, you need to adjust your expectations, because depending on where in Goodyear you land and what time you leave, you're realistically looking at a 45-minute drive into central Phoenix. For a lot of people, that's totally fine because more and more of the jobs are moving out here in the West Valley anyway. But if your job is in Scottsdale or Tempe or the far east side, you need to go in with your eyes wide open about the commute. That one reality check saves people a lot of heartache. So let's talk about Goodyear's neighborhoods, because moving to Goodyear can mean 5 completely different lifestyles depending on where you buy. If you're wanting a master planned resort style living with community pools and parks and trails, you're looking at communities like Estrella. It's up in the foothills and it's got lakes and it's got that big amenity lifestyle, and it draws families and active adults who want their neighborhood to feel like a destination. And if you want newer construction, close to shopping and the freeway, you've got the neighborhoods along the Estrella and Litchfield corridors. This is where a lot of my buyers land because they get a newer home and it's an easy commute and they're 5 minutes from everything they need to do day to day. Now, if you're a buyer who wants more established trees and a little more space, there are older pockets in Goodyear closer to the original town center where lots can be bigger and the prices sometimes are a touch friendlier. And if you're an active adult and you're thinking retirement, you're within a short drive of some of the best 55 plus living in the whole West Valley. Here's my honest advice. Don't pick your neighborhood off of a map. The right neighborhood in Goodyear depends entirely on whether you value amenities, commute, space, or price the most. And that's exactly the conversation I have with every buyer before we ever look at a house. What does your money buy? Now, the question everybody actually wants to know and what you clicked for is, what do homes cost in Goodyear, Arizona in 2026? Here's the real range. You can find townhomes and smaller single-family homes starting in the low to mid 400s, and your bread and butter Goodyear family home, 3-4 bedrooms, newer build, 2 or 3 car garage is generally landing between the mid 400s and the high 500s. And once you get into the larger homes and the premium lots and the mountain views and the pools already in, you're looking into the 600,000, 700,000 and up. And I want to connect this to something. So if you saw my Goodyear home tour, and I'll link it, that finished pool home around 525,000 is a perfect example of a sweet spot. Newer, move-in ready, backyard already done. That's the kind of value that's still out there if you know where to look. The mistake I see is relocating buyers make the assumption that everything has a given price, everything at a given price is equal, but it's not. Two homes at 500,000 in Goodyear can be a completely different deal once you factor in the lot, the age, and whether the backyard's finished. Now, if you already own a home somewhere else and you're trying to figure out your budget for the move, feel free to use my home valuation tool in the description. We'll tell you what your current price, what your current place is worth, and in about 30 seconds. So knowing that number is step one for any smart relocation. So let's talk about the cost of living in Goodyear, because this is where the surprises live. The good news, Arizona has no tax on Social Security. Our overall cost of living in the West Valley is very reasonable compared to California, Washington, or even Northeast, and you get dramatically more house for your money out here. That's the big reason why people are moving here to Goodyear, Arizona in the first place. Now, the honest warnings. Number one, your summer electric bill, nobody prepares out-of-state buyers for this. In July and August, running the AC in a Goodyear house can push your electric bill up significantly. It's the price of that beautiful weather and the other 8 months of the year. Budget for it. And when you're touring homes, ask about the age and the efficiency of the air conditioning unit and whether the home has owned or leased solar. That question matters. Number two, HOAs, most of the newer master plan community neighborhoods have a homeowners association, and those dues pay for all parks and pools and landscaping that keeps the community looking great. But you need to know a monthly number of what it covers before you buy. I've got a whole video on what HOAs cover and what they don't, and I'd watch it before you commit. And number three, the real one, water and growth. Arizona water is a real conversation, and I'd rather you hear it straight from the local than panic over a scary headline. The short version is that the established master plan communities in Goodyear are built on assured water supplies. But if you're buying on the far edges of new development, it's a smart question to ask, and it's exactly the kind of thing that I would check for my buyers. So, should you move to Goodyear, Arizona? Let me give you the honest scorecard. The pros. You get newer homes and more space for your money than almost anywhere in the east side of the valley. You get that incredible West Valley weather from about October through May. You get real mountain views and access to hiking and outdoors. You get a growing job base right here on the west side, so you may not even need to worry about a long commute. And you get a genuine community feel. Goodyear still has that. Neighbors actually know each other, and energy that a lot of big cities have lost. Now the cons, because I promise you honesty, the summers are hot, full stop. You'll adjust, but you will adjust, but it is real. If your work is on the far east side, the commute is a factor. And because Goodyear is growing so fast, some areas are still filling in. You might buy next to a dirt lot that becomes a home or a shopping center in a year. For some buyers, that's exciting. For others, it's a deal breaker. Knowing which one you are before you buy is the whole game. And here's the thing that tells you everything about Goodyear's trajectory. People keep moving here and businesses keep following them. This is consistently one of the fastest growing cities in the entire Phoenix metro. When a place grows like this year after year, it's not a fluke. If people's voting with their feet because it's people voting with their feet because the value is real. That growth is also what tends to support some values over time, which matters a lot when you're the one buying. So if you're seriously thinking about moving to Goodyear, Arizona, here's how I can actually help. First, grab my free buyer's guide in the description. It walks you through the whole Arizona buying process step by step, which is especially important if you're relocating from out of state and doing part of this remotely. I do long distance buyers all the time, and having the roadmap makes it much less stressful. Second, if you need to sell before you buy, run your current home through my free home valuation tool, links below, so you know your real numbers. And third, this is the one that saves you the most time and the most money. Call or text me at 540-623-4143 before you start seriously looking. Tell me what matters to you: commute, amenities, budget, space. I'll tell you exactly which Goodyear neighborhoods fit and which ones to skip. And I'll do it honestly, even if that means telling you the place isn't right for you. If this has helped you, subscribe, because tomorrow I'm breaking down why Buckeye, Arizona is booming. The jobs, the growth, all of it. And it's a video every West Valley buyer should see. I'm Shandelin, your neighborhood realtor. Talk to you later.